What's going on, guys? It's Caleb, and today I have a BMW Z3 that is in for a detail. A buddy of mine recently moved back to Florida and told me he was not going to be getting a car to work with or play with, and that didn't last long. The minute he got to Florida, he ended up finding the Z3 from a guy down the street who drove it just about every Sunday or so. Got about 70 or so thousand miles on it, and the last thing he wants done to it is get the paint corrected and ceramic coated so that way it's in beautiful shape before he gets it wrapped later on down the road, and that's what we pretty much accomplished with this detail. First things first, though, you guys know we have to start with the wheels using some P&S brake buster. So let's dive on into these wheels and get this vehicle going. But before we go any further, guys, if you could just take a real quick second and like the video, go ahead and press subscribe and go ahead and ring that bell. That way you know every single time I upload. This one was just... I was fighting the rain and I was on a time frame, and it was a buddy's car, so he was okay with just making sure everything was prepped as quick and as easy, as fast as possible, and getting that thing in the garage so we could polish it for the rest of the night. And I mean, the rain was horrendous. I mean, I did the best I could. It stopped for a little bit and I was able to get a lot of the work done then, and then it came back on just a tad, but mostly you see a lot of the rain happening whenever I'm doing the wheels. But rainy days, it was actually a lot of fun either way. It kind of sucks I had to wear a jacket and, you know, just get all protected from the rain, but I actually kind of liked it. I didn't break a sweat, nothing. It was a ton of fun. Oh, and got some of this stuff in that we're going to be doing on the Golf R, so stay tuned for that video. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe so you can stay in touch with that. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much done here. Let's go ahead and get on with this car. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and take the foam cannon and foam down the entire car, and then we're going to take a boar's hair detail brush and get all the little nitty-gritty spots that are really hard to get. I'll explain what product I'm using and why I'm using it inside the foam cannon right after this section, so stick around. So as you can see here, I am just soaking wet. The rain is still going, not too hard though, like it really isn't all that bad. It looks a lot worse on camera, but it's really not that bad. And we're using the Boar's Hair Detail brush to brush all the little nitty gritty spots, and what I ended up foaming the car down with, as you saw at the beginning of this, was Purple Power. And the reason for that is, a lot of people don't know, but Purple Power is a pretty hefty degreaser, and if you have something on there like wax or sealant, it's really going to get rid of that. And if not completely, pretty dang close to getting rid of all whatever is on the surface. And I mean, from knowing where this car has been, I'm sure it's been waxed or used like a wash and wax whenever washing it, but I'm really not concerned with there being something like a ceramic coating on here or anything. And needless to say, just using something like Purple Power or like Strip Wash from Adams, I think it's called, that sort of stuff, it's really going to help out in the long run of not gunking up your pads and stuff like that. Whenever you go to polishing, you just pretty much want a bare surface without any stuff on top of it protecting the paint. Now we're going to turn to the soft top on this thing, which is not really too bad, but I'm definitely going to put some elbow grease into this to get it a little bit cleaner than where it's at now. The reason I'm not so concerned with getting it 100% clean is strictly because I know the owner is getting a new soft top in literally anytime soon, and it's going right on. So just for now, I want to get this thing clean enough to where it looks halfway decent until the new one comes in. Now the way I'm cleaning this is with some degreaser and a spray bottle, but what I ended up doing was taking one of my brushes that I have, just one of those little cheap detail brushes. I took the big fat one and I went ahead with the bristles and cut them, like not all the way, but like pretty much 3/4 of the way, so that way the bristles were a lot more stiff and could definitely give a lot better scrubbing power. It's a very short snippet of video, but altogether I just wanted to give it its own little section because doing something like a soft top is not something I get to do pretty much every day, and I don't think I've ever shown it on the channel, but it's real simple to get these things clean and in my opinion pretty satisfying to watch. So the next step on the things to do list for this car, we're going to go ahead and take some Adams iron remover and spray it on the surface just to go ahead and perform a chemical decontamination. Just by the first few sprays of the paint, I really don't think that this is going to be that big of a deal, I guess you could say, with the iron remover. I don't think we're going to see a lot of purple at all whatsoever. I did use it on the wheels earlier and there really wasn't that much there either. Where the most work is going to be done though is the mechanical decontamination side of things with a clay bar. The paint has that sandpaper gritty feel. I mean, you detailers know what I'm talking about. The clay bar would definitely help out a lot. If you've watched any of my videos before in the past and you already know what I am doing right here, I am foaming down the vehicle before I go ahead and clay bar it, and that's strictly because the foam cannon just adds like this source of lubrication that nothing else can really provide. Granted, I mean, you can use some clay lube mixed in like a press-on double spray bottle or like a hand pump foam sprayer thing. You know, there's a lot of other methods you can use. I just particularly like to use the foam cannon in any way, shape, or form that I possibly can, especially on a day like this where it's nice and cloudy and gloomy and there's no chance of the soap drying on the surface. Alright, one thing we need to make like crystal clear before going into this polishing section. This was me and my absolute dearest friends, like family, all just hanging out in the garage and getting this thing polished. There was adult beverages involved, we were all just having fun. So when you see that there might be a little too much product on my pad, guess what? I know. Whenever you see things such as me taking longer on this section or that, or the camera angle is just completely botched, I know. But it was all in good fun. I made sure the next morning everything was pretty much the way it should be, and the car ended up looking phenomenal. I mean, it really did. Granted, you know, it's 20-plus-year-old paint, so I mean, there's going to be its fair share of paint chips from rocks and scratches that just are not curable. I mean, it has definitely some battle scars and some character to it, but overall it was one heck of a fun night, and we were all able to have a lot of fun getting this BMW nice and glossy. And for what it counts, I am using a Yellow Rupes pad matched with Sonax's Perfect Finish, which is like one of the best one-step combos you can really find on the planet. So yeah, overall disclaimer guys, don't follow what I do here, go back a few videos if you want to see how I do things, but the most important thing out of this whole entire section is don't forget to have fun whenever you're detailing. Within reason, of course. CarPro Eraser is the product of choice whenever I look for an IPA to go ahead and take off compound and polishing oils that are on the surface. It really is an absolutely amazing product. Not only is it amazing for just getting oil and stuff off of a, well polished surface, but it smells so good. Like, it smells clean, and oh man, I love the smell of CarPro Eraser. If I could have that as like a scent, like in a candle or something, I 100% would. Anyways though, we're gonna go ahead and spray the entire car down with this and go over the paint, just make sure everything was okay, and I'm actually really happy with the finish. Now granted, the front end's gonna have paint chips and stuff in it from rocks. I mean, it's 20+ year old paint. There's really not much more you can really say about that. And then we're gonna go ahead and ceramic coat the car using some Pro-J ceramic coating. As for like a budget balanced ceramic coating that actually has some extremely good ceramic properties to it and works extremely well, this is absolutely an awesome product for the price point. Ceramic coatings usually vary by the amount of SiO2 component that is inside of the mix, but this stuff, I mean, for the price, I think it's like 25 bucks whenever I saw on Amazon. It's an amazing ceramic coating for the price point. You really can't beat it. Granted, I always recommend something better if it is within your price range, but especially where I'm from, a cheaper ceramic coating is definitely going to be more ideal for the customer bases around us. And as for using a better product on like one of my best friend's cars, I just didn't have enough CarPro C-Quartz UK edition to do the entire vehicle, so Pro-J it was because that's what I had on hand, and I knew that it would work as it should with an awesome finish. That pretty much wraps up this detail. The only thing you guys did not see on camera is after the coating has sat around for about an hour or so, I went ahead and put some CarPro Reload on the exterior so that way you could protect that ceramic coating from water spotting and whatnot, the usual stuff you see with ceramic coatings. I went ahead and cleaned up the inside and cleaned up the windows, and then I went ahead and put on some tire dressing, which was Meguiar's Hyper Dressing, as I usually use with my tire brush thing that I always have. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me once again, giving me about 20-25 minutes every time. I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. If you like the video, go ahead and show me by leaving a like, and go ahead and subscribe if you like this sort of content, and ring that bell, that way you know every single time I upload. Another detail in the books, and I have you guys to thank for that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at caleb.inc. It's in the description if you're interested, and I will see you guys next week with another detail.